that too loud? Is that okay? Feels a little loud. Welcome. Delighted to see you. I know that it's a really busy time. In fact, I know as we speak, we have a group working, believe it or not, on middle states. They're helping prepare the slides and materials we're going to be using starting next Monday in our breakfast, lunch, and dinner meeting. So, unfortunately, we don't have some key middle states leaders here, but lots of good stuff to talk about. And I hope everybody's having a great spring semester. I'm here only because I've got notes, but I hope we can have a nice, healthy dialogue. Let me share a few things with you. First of all, I just want to note it's really great to be back in the Culinary Conference Center. We're certainly pleased with perfect timing here. We're pleased with the change in procedures that have eliminated the room rental fees and food and beverage minimums for college users. So many thanks to Lori, Aaron, and many others for making this possible. And just as we are today, please use the Culinary Conference Center and foot catering whenever it's appropriate. Let's see, are Robin Singer and Sal Clay are here? They're not. I hope their ears are going to be burning. I just wanted to say congratulations to Instructor of Early Childhood Education Robin Singer and Instructor of Psychology Sal Clay. They both have achieved tenured status, as many of you know. Their tenure was approved by the Board of Trustees last week, so congratulations to them. Have a round of applause even out here. We're delighted to have them move into tenured status. They're both doing a great job, both inside and outside the classroom. And I do want to congratulate and thank 6 members of our Student Affairs and Enrollment Services divisions for reclassification to new positions with expanded responsibilities. I sent a note out about this. Those are Lisa Dougherty, David Clark, Matt Fessler, Sylvia Mendoza, Veronica Gerasimo, and Dee Franco. So congratulations and thank you for stepping up. These are significantly expanded job descriptions, but we also have an opportunity for professional growth and development for those dedicated staff. Last week, a team of our colleagues joined me at the annual Achieving the Dream Conference, and that was in Long Beach, California. I can tell you we were working, we were not playing, but it was a nice venue. But I want to thank those team members who attended, and those were Heather DeVries, Lisa Dougherty, Sheila Dinan, Eric Friedman, Jerry Lamb, John Marland, Elizabeth Nesius, Denise Rosilli, Jerry Trombella, and Chris Wong. And while there, we met with Dr. Mary Fifield, our Achieving the Dream Leadership Coach, and Dr. Renee Garcia, our Achieving the Dream Data Coach. You've probably heard me mention this before, but let me just remind you, Dr. Fifield is President Emeritus of Bunker Hill Community College, Massachusetts' largest community college and urban college in Boston. She served as president there for 17 years. Prior to that, she was president at Harrisburg Area Community College, which today, with multiple campuses, is the largest in Pennsylvania. So she, and other experience, but she has a lot of executive experience as a very successful and nationally respected community college leader. And we met Dr. I knew Mary because I worked with her at my previous institution. I had not met Dr. Garcia. We all met him for the first time. Really a fun guy, and but very accomplished. He spent most of his career at Miami-Dade Community College, which is one of the largest and most respected community colleges in the nation, as you know. And he led, he's retired recently, but he led their enrollment management programs there for many years. And he will be serving as our data coach. So we had a really, I think, helpful, get acquainted meeting, nice conversation about the college and about achieving the dream. And so our next steps are to send a team to the June ATD conference for new member colleges. So all new member colleges will have teams that convene in June in Phoenix. And these are going to be very hands-on working sessions with our coaches. And this will officially launch our Achieving the Dream work. So we haven't determined who's going to go, but that team will be actually talking with the coaches and with one another about how we want to organize our work, how do we want to work together to determine key things like what are our priorities going forward, what kinds of data do we need, when will the coaches visit us, things like that. And then we'll be officially up and running. And I think it's very exciting. We'll soon be identifying a core steering committee, so we need to have a steering committee here of faculty, staff, I would hope students as well, that really will help coordinate our Achieving the Dream work on an ongoing basis and help ensure that we're all on task and help inform the college community and support our initiatives. So we're going to be appointing a steering committee shortly. We're also going to be inviting someone to really be the lead of that. We need a singular leader to not do all of the work, but to be our principal contact with Achieving the Dream and to help ensure that things are not falling between the cracks and help ensure that we're all doing what we need to be doing. So if anyone has an interest in any of that, certainly let us know. Dr. Friedman and I are going to be trying to make some of those decisions soon. And then we actually are going to be setting 3 dates in the next year for our coaches to visit. So as a new member college, Dr. Flayhill and Dr. Garcia will actually come here for 2-day visits 3 times next year and in the subsequent 2 years. So the next 3 years, they'll be here 3 times a year, or 9 times. And now that's not just to come and visit, that's going to be a time when they will actually interact with all kinds of different members of our community. And we really will lead the decisions about how we will organize their visits. It'll all be done with their advice, but basically we're going to make the decisions about how we think they can best help us. They're going to help share best practices and help us determine what data to use. And then what typically happens when the coaches visit is they'll each spend time with different subgroups. So we'll have, in all likelihood, a data team that'll be principally working with Dr. Garcia. In all likelihood, we'll be filling out an instrument that they call ICAT. They have determined 7 competencies for student success work, and they have an instrument that all of us can fill out to try to gauge our collective perceptions of how we're doing in each of those 7 critical areas and to help maybe pinpoint where we want to focus our attention. And then they facilitate that in a college-wide half-day meeting. So there will be a lot of things like that. I think you're going to enjoy it based on my own experience. I hope I'm right, but it's all beginning. And then I sent a note yesterday that our new Vice President for Human Resources is going to be starting tomorrow. Her name's Anna Kropitsky. A number of you met her in the interviews. And I want to thank Vivian Ray. Is Vivian here? Oh, people thanking her not here. Vivian will now become Associate Vice President for Employee Relations, which is a position that she helped define and to organize around her areas of principal interest and passion. And I want to thank her and our whole HR team for all they've done and are going to continue to do to achieve continuous improvement in our recruitment, our hiring, our diversity, equity, and inclusion, and employee development and support processes. And we also look forward to welcoming our new Associate Dean of STEM, Dr. Burl Yearwood, on March 4th. I know Dr. Friedman sent a note out about Burl. So he'll be here. This is exciting. And I want to just note that in addition to all the skills and experience that these new colleagues bring to Hudson County Community College, we're very pleased also that they bring an important diversity perspective. Anna, as a childhood immigrant from Ukraine, and Burl as a member of the African American community. And wanted to also note that our contract negotiations are now underway, and meetings have begun with our professional association and our academic administrative association, and meetings with our support staff federation and our adjunct faculty federation will begin shortly. And we are all committed to collegial discussions focused on finding common ground in areas of priority. And I want to thank all the members of the bargaining teams for their dedicated work throughout this process. I'm hearing really good things about the meetings that have occurred so far. This is hard work if you've never done it. There's a tremendous amount of due diligence, and it's, of course, exceedingly important, so we thank everyone who's involved. And of course, last week we submitted our final and official self-study in Middle States, which was also officially approved by our board last week. And I want to again express my thanks to everyone as we now move into the full-fledged preparation for the Middle States Peer Team Site visit, which again will be held on March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. And I wanted to share with you the members of the Middle States team, which actually has changed just a bit. We've added a few. So Dr. Darian Pollard, who's president of Montgomery College in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., is the team chair. A number of you met with her when she came for a preliminary visit. Montgomery College, if you're not familiar with it, is a large, urban, multi-campus institution, very complex. And Dr. Pollard is really nationally respected in the community college sector and beyond. And our team members include Ms. Christina Kilduff, who is Vice President of Administration and Finance for Allegheny College of Maryland. That is the way it's spelled. Dr. Jose Francisco Matinette, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Associate Professor of Spanish and French at Delaware County Community College in Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. Dr. Clayton Raley, Executive Vice President and Provost at Prince George's Community College in Maryland. Dr. Nancy Ritzy, Dean of Research Planning and Assessment for Bronx Community College. And just added Dr. Michelle Scott, who's the Deputy Chief of Staff at Montgomery College. And then also we have Dr. Julie White, who's the Senior Vice President for Student Engagement and Learning Support at Onondaga Community College in New York. And Mr. Thomas Hilliard, who's the Senior Advisor in the Office of the Secretary of Higher Education of New Jersey. And it's my understanding that it's common in New Jersey to have a member of the Office of Higher Education. So they will all be here. We'll be starting with a kickoff dinner with members of our college community and board members on Sunday evening, March 31st, and then, the next 2.5 days will be filled with meetings. They'll be interacting with the whole college community. There will be, I think, an open forum at both this campus and North Hudson that's open to everyone. They determine the agenda, and that is still in development right now. And as soon as we know it and it's fine-tuned, we'll let you know. I think we have a shell of that right now, but Dr. Pollard is working with the team members now to try to define exactly who will do what and when. So we're going to keep you fully informed of all of that. You've hopefully all received an invitation to breakfast, lunch, and dinner meetings throughout March. We've organized these so that we have an opportunity in groups of 20 or less to kind of just review the highlights of each chapter. This isn't going to be a compendium of information about the entire document. That's available to all of you. It's on our website. So many of you have participated in writing it. But we do want to sort of remind one another of key themes and trends over the last 10 years in each of the 7 chapters, which each focuses on one of the 7 standards, so that we're all sort of up to date and want to have an opportunity, if there are questions, concerns, ideas, to talk, to have robust discussion about that. So this is open to everyone. We do ask you to RSVP so that we can plan. It starts on Monday. And so there are folks working right now on the outline, but I hope many of you will participate in those. And let the games begin, as they say. So I think I really feel good about this. I think as I've reread the self-study, I hope you feel the same way. I think it's pretty inspirational. It's really, it really tells our story nicely. And man, a lot of progress has been made. So I thank all of you that have participated in that. One of my presidential priorities is to lead and support efforts for continuous improvement in all areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And is Ms. Rosilli here? I want to thank the All College Council for appointing a short-term subcommittee of the College Life Committee that will work to assess the perspectives, including concerns and ideas of our college community around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I thank Jose Lowe. Is Jose here? Man, am I striking out today.
Sal's here now.
I'm sorry?
Sal's here now.
Sal's here. Sal, I hope your ears were burning a little while ago. We just, congratulations. Have a round of applause. And I do want to thank Jose for agreeing to lead the subcommittee, which will, I think, be doing a climate survey, and I look forward to working with Jose and the committee. I've begun, with the help of some of you, to assemble data about the demographics of our student and employee communities, and I'm developing and fine-tuning a scorecard that will track all new hires and internal promotions as one way of monitoring our progress with respect to promoting employee diversity and helping ensure that the diversity of our employees increasingly reflects the diversity of our students. And I'm going to be looking forward to sharing these data with you. It wasn't really, and we're still working on it. The data are not as easily available as I would have expected. So, but what I will tell you in terms of a theme, which you probably know, but in actually looking at the data, if you look at the proportion of our students from our various ethnic groups, and then match that up against the diversity of our faculty staff population, the big gaps are in the Latino population. In fact, the African American community does not have large gaps. There are some, but it's the Latino community where there are huge gaps, and of course 56% of our students are Latino. Now, I want to clarify that I am not a believer that you have to have an exact match. If you've got 13% of your students that are African American, 13% of your employees should be African American. I think that's a little silly. What we do want, I know this is a value that all of you, so many of you have shared with me, and I certainly feel passionate about it. We want to make sure that we have the kind of rich diversity among our employee groups and all parts of our employees, meaning upper level management as well. That reflects the diversity of our students, and we want to make sure that our role models and people that our students are interacting with that they can identify with. And so the approach that I have advocated is to focus our attention on best practice around how we recruit candidates for openings. In other words, if we really work hard to make sure we get the word out about openings to the full community of eligible applicants, including applicants from traditionally underrepresented groups, and then we have an equitable and consistent process for how we review applications and make selections, over time there will be a correlation between the success we have getting more robust pools of qualified and diverse applicants and increasing continuous improvement around increasing employee diversity. I still think it's fundamentally important to our college community and our students that we always hire the best person, but we want to make sure we have pools of qualified applicants so that over time we will make progress. And so I'm looking forward to really sharing these data and really talking about them and increasingly broadening our analysis of data and trends associated with diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's not just about hiring, it's also about student success. And so I'm hoping that increasingly we will be able to enhance our understanding of who succeeds and where there are gaps. So disaggregating our student success, retention, and completion data in order to identify potential equity gaps that can further inform our practice. So I see a wonderful alignment of that work with our work with Achieving the Dream and our continuous improvement processes. I also want to share that recently I had a very, I would call it a robust and respectful but wide-ranging meeting and conversation here with Reverend Nathaniel Legay, who's president of the Jersey City NAACP, as well as several other NAACP leaders that he brought, and Trustee Vice Chair Bakari Lee and Consultant Roger Jones, who works with us in marketing. And in this meeting we discussed our mutual goals. I shared some of the data I just described for you. And we also, by the way, looked at scholarship recipients. We put that data together too to see, how the diversity of our student scholarship recipients matches with the diversity of our students. Pretty good match. It's really, that was affirming. So we discussed our mutual goals. We agreed to form an ongoing partnership. And among the many topics we discussed, the NAACP is interested in working with us to raise scholarship funding for African American students and other students from traditionally underrepresented groups. So we're going to be having regular meetings, and similarly, we're reaching out to other members of our various communities. We have been engaging the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and others. And so following the preliminary work of the All-College Council Subcommittee that Jose is leading, I'd like to create a standing committee or a council to lead, support, and advise our community in all areas related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm envisioning this committee, and I'm throwing this out there because I'd like to get your perspectives and I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if I'm off course, I want to know that too. I'm thinking this committee, broadly representative of our population, would lead, support, and advise all of us in all areas related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I would see them developing a strategic plan for diversity, equity, and inclusion that dovetails with our college plan, but that focuses on these particular areas, and also to serve as an advisory organization for me in order to inform my leadership and the leadership of other members of our team. I don't have a preconceived notion about the structure. It could be a standing committee of the All-College Council, if that is the wish of the community, or it could be a separate standalone committee. I welcome your comments on that. I'm going to finish in a moment, and I want to hear all kinds of comments. Recently, I really wanted to share that I've been reading about and becoming more familiar with research and approaches to food insecurity and homelessness among community college students nationwide. I've gone to a number of national meetings over the last few months where this was a very focused theme, and I know all of us are aware of these and related challenges that some members of our community face, but I'm not sure we all understand the full magnitude of these challenges. I didn't. As the reality is, many victims of food insecurity and homelessness go to great lengths to hide these life-threatening conditions as an issue of pride. And it's an issue that some members of our community, really the whole post-secondary community, have been very focused on. There is her name's escaping me, there's a faculty member at Temple University that's really been writing a lot about this and really trying to gather data to help us understand the magnitude of the problem, and partly because of her efforts and those of some other pioneers and champions around the country. On January 9th of 2019, the Government Accountability Office issued a report for the first time about food insecurity among community college students. It's about 60 or 70 pages. It's estimated that as many as half or more of community college students nationwide are food insecure. And approximately 15% nationwide among all community college students have experienced homelessness within the last year. And I think further concerning for us is the demographics of our students are particularly at risk for these conditions. And I applaud the work that Associate Dean David Clark and Phi Theta Kappa and others are doing to create food pantries on both of our campuses, which is truly exceedingly important and which I want to support in every way possible. But it's been emphasized in some of the meetings and work that I'm reading that, not surprisingly, a growing number of colleges have food pantries, I think some 700 or more now. But food pantries alone don't begin to address the full scope of the problem. It's a Band-Aid. It's a very, frankly, small, important, but relatively small solution given the magnitude of the problem. And it's also estimated that over half of students nationwide, community college students, who are eligible for SNAP or food stamp assistance are not receiving the assistance. And this is partly or largely because they're unaware of the opportunities and or there's a very cumbersome process, of course, it's a government program, for making application for these resources. And so they're going without support that could be vital to their well-being, let alone their ability to succeed as college students. So as we consider efforts to promote student completion, transfer, success, and gainful employment, we always talk about how we help students in terms of tutoring and how we help students academically at risk, and how we can increasingly reach more students through different modalities of teaching, on and on and on. But if a student doesn't have enough to eat, or sleeping in a car, I get emotional here. Those things aren't getting at the problem. And there's been some discussion in the higher ed community about, well, is this really our responsibility? We're not a human services agency. But the reality is, given the magnitude and the fact that 1 in 2 of our students is probably suffering from one or both of these conditions, do we have a choice? I would suggest not. And so I think that as we begin to ramp up our student success work, we need to be focused and fully engaged with one another about these very acute challenges that absolutely have to get addressed if students affected are going to succeed. And so I look forward to discussion and engagement with all members of our community about these issues here at Hudson and how we can more fully understand these acute needs and improve our efforts to assist students and in some cases, faculty and staff in need. Extremely important. On a much more positive note, we're finishing the process of selecting a marketing firm to work with us on the complete redevelopment of our website. I thank Jeff Roberson. Is Jeff here? I'll bet he's not. But Veronica's here, she can share this. I thank Jeff for leading the application and interview process of a number of firms. We had a number of firms that submitted an application to be our vendor to work with us in this process. 5 of those firms gave initial presentations to a subgroup of members of our community, and then 3 did a second larger presentation. I attended those 3. 2 of those 3 impressed me greatly, and I believe we are going to be recommending one of those 2 to the board very shortly, and then we will begin our work with a vendor. This, just to make sure everybody understands how this is going to work, this is going to take a year or more. This is a very major undertaking and will involve everybody here. But it's also very exciting. Just listening to some of the presentations, and technology has changed significantly since our website was last developed. And there are so many ways we can more effectively reach our communities and constituencies and also celebrate, I think, increasingly through the voices and examples of our students, what this college really means. So I think that's going to be exceedingly exciting work, and I'm going to stop there. I welcome any comments about that or any questions or other ideas you'd like to bat around.
Chris, I'd like to ask you about the SNAP program. It's funny, I was talking to Lisa yesterday and about the food pantry and how we set that up, and this is a big focus of yours. And you do struggle with the operations of the college campus and those dollars that you're responsible for, and then where is the obligation from human services as well. But is there something that we can assign to folks to help with the SNAP application? I mean, if the dollars are there, I think there's a lot of us that want to help.
Absolutely. I think that's that's one of the very first things that we need to do probably. And I don't have all the answers, so I'm anxious to hear your ideas. But the first thing we could do, and actually, interestingly, Dr. Fightfield's successor, the current president of Bunker Hill Community College, is a leader in this work. And she, I heard her talk about what they're doing at Bunker Hill. They have surveyed everyone across the campus. They've conducted they've spent a lot of time trying to really figure out what's going on there. And they have a pretty good understanding of where there are problems. And now that's what they're doing, is beginning to start by reaching people that need the information and facilitating their making application or trying to get those resources. Other ideas?
It's almost like it's part of a one-stop, because I did a lot of resource and referral in previous careers. While you might not have the resources, you know who does, and you facilitate that process. So that's just what you're talking about.
Exactly.
But we have to give them the information. And I think
Right, and that's
why
why,
help with something like
right,
that.
we're the resource to refer to the resource.
Elizabeth.
At Achieving the Dream, I attended a session where a school had a services fair where they had various area, county, human services groups come, and they didn't, it was free for them as vendors, and they came, and it was a big fair, and students came and were able to, speak with them and sign up for services that they might be eligible for. And I think that's something we can do pretty quickly and easily and at very low cost.
Yep.
And you know what, sometimes you have, oh, I'm sorry, I have a bad habit of just jumping in. I know at Long Branch Library down by where I live, they for, I don't know, a couple semesters had social work students in place, same time, same day, all the time, to reach out to so the community knew they were there, so they functioned as resource and referral to what was available.
Right.
I don't know, I just
Yeah.
jumped in.
So David and I are meeting for first time today in our new reporting relationship, and this is one of the items that is in David's expanded role, which is addressing students' basic needs, and we're going to talk about forming a standing committee, maybe Hudson Helps or something like that. And the fair, was that Elizabeth talking about the fair? Yeah. So that's something we, I think that's a low-hanging fruit type of thing. So if you have ideas, please reach out to Dr. Clark, because these are things that we can and should be doing, and some of them I think we can do fairly quickly. But more to come on that.
I recommend this report, and we can send you a link, but it's basically if you Google GAO, food insecurity, you'll get it. One of the things that's been emphasized is the importance of discreteness. You know, there was discussion that I heard about the homelessness piece. We all assume that's someone that's literally under a bridge or in a car, and we have that. But also, you know, they were describing that the number of our students who don't have an address and are living like sofa to sofa, asking people to let them stay for a day or two and then finding another, it's much larger than we might realize. Other thoughts about this or questions that I can answer? Yes.
I don't think it should be limited to students. I believe
No.
we have part-time adjuncts,
Yeah.
full-time people that might need assistance.
Absolutely.
And it should be open to them as well.
I agree. Are there questions that I can answer, or things that you'd like to talk about today with one another? Yes.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
Sorry, I just came in late. I had a budget meeting with my department, the financial department, and I was discussing more about like the awareness that we have. I feel like our school lacks that when it comes to a lot of things that go on within our college, whether it being our majors, our events, and probably some of our concerns. Emails kind of go so far, and we're more so in this digital stratosphere that even flyers only go so far as well. I was kind of wondering, especially with our transition of getting a new website, what more do you think we could do to brighten the awareness? Because it's hard enough that we don't have a team to bring out the pride within our school, but I also feel that we have the opportunity, especially with what we have to offer. We can definitely brighten up the pride within our campus as well, not only within this campus, within North Hudson also. So that's just mainly my question.
It's a great question, and I'd like to hear others' thoughts about that, and then I'll be happy to add some of my own. How can we communicate to make all of us more aware of what really we should be proud of?
Veronica Jerusalem and I have been speaking, and it's more so of meeting students where they are. We oftentimes think that putting on all of these events and shows, etc., is what the student want, and I think oftentimes we miss getting feedback from them to say, how do you want to receive information? What type of events do you? And we offer a plethora of amazing events, like, and there's a lot to be prideful for. And I don't think we toot our own horn enough, to be quite honest with you, because there are so many great things that are happening at the college, but they get lost in the sauce, if you will. So I guess figuring out first and foremost, what do students want, and then how do we meet them where they are? Because there are so many varying needs. We're not a traditional college, so we don't have a traditional 18-year-old where we could just feed them things. So we have a a more mature student, and we have traditional students. So we have to find a middle ground of how we can address we are working on it. We are working.
Do you have ideas?
Well, I do think, going off what he said, we do have to check in the aid of what our students want. Not only our students, but I think our staff as well. Because I wouldn't be surprised if staff would like to volunteer to assist with the awareness as well. I know there's a lot of personal concerns when it comes to our staff and our faculty and everything. But I also feel like in order to bring revenue and bring more of a, I guess, a family base within our college, I think that everybody should definitely, or not everybody, but people who would like to chip in and have their assistance in order to make things better can definitely help things out. But going off of what he said, we are not only a traditional but a non-traditional campus institution. And I don't think that the school really is aware of that. We're aware of that, but we're not aware of that as a whole. Especially me working under grants, I work with a lot of the awareness of working with non-traditional students as is. So I think also bringing that into the light, it kind of helps out the students and helps out the faculty as well with adjusting to bringing that into light. And presentation is everything, I feel. So if there is some type of presentation that we can handle to the non-traditional students, I think that can also work out.
You know, to your point, I've been doing pizza with the president. I had one on Monday at North Hudson, and last night in the Reber library. And I am just, these meetings are so inspiring, really, and large numbers of students, and they want to talk about ideas. I mean, like one student said, I have some ideas about how we can, I'm not even sure what she wants to talk about, but I think it has to do with sustainability and how we can be more environmentally friendly and green. And she's coming with a group of students to meet with me to talk about that. And last night, the pizzas were gone, and the conversation was continuing. And there were some really acute concerns that a number of students shared with me one-on-one that I need to follow up on. But you know, often the information isn't exactly right, but concerns about whether there's a mother of a wheelchair-bound student who can't get in the entrances of our buildings. Literally can't get in the entrances. And it's a concern when she needs more scholarship money, or she's, you know, and so, and then it's also an opportunity for me to kind of share with them. They're interested in knowing what's happening, so they were really interested in the Student Center project. Many of them didn't know about it, so that's been one of my attempts to try to have that kind of engagement. Is I think it's really, we're out there talking to our students and getting to know them, and certainly our faculty know them in a way that others don't, but they have a wealth of information that's important for us to know, but also it's an opportunity to really celebrate their accomplishments, and you know, it all comes down to sometimes personal contact. Are there other thoughts about this? Yes, Lisa.
Yeah, some of the thoughts that I have about the students understanding and realizing that there are a lot of people here who have the same experiences as them as well.
Yes.
Because I've talked to, you know, quite a few part-time faculty members, full-time faculty members, and others who, like myself, we were that underrepresented. So we are here, and we're in the classroom, we're in the offices, we're walking along the hallways, we're walking up and down the street, and then maybe there is something that we can do more to showcase who we are. Maybe have a, you know, unrepresented, you know, day or something, and have a panel of individuals, because there may be some people who do stand before students and do not share that they too was like that. They may not know how to do that. I know one of our, Angela Pack, she does a workshop specifically on that, building that social community with your students. And so we've gone to training, I've gone to training through CTE on just how to do that. So there is training to teach people, because there was a time when we were kind of told not to kind of share a lot of experiences. But now it's okay to to share that, and now that we see our students need that, they need to know that we, because I went back to school 30-something years, and many other people here, we have the exact same experience.
Right. Absolutely.
Went to community colleges just like them, just let them know, or in like a Pride Day maybe, have different things
Yep.
happening on that day.
I really, I have to say kudos to like our student affairs staff, our student activity staff. I've never seen, in any institution I've worked in, I've never seen so much, and it's just not so much stuff, but really high quality programming. That's pretty well attended too. So I think we have a lot to be proud of, but you know, one of the things that I have noticed in my, and this is only informed by 8 months here so far, but the climate, I don't want to say climate, the students, probably not surprisingly, on the North Hudson campus, exhibit a much stronger sense of community with one another. And I think there's a sense of pride that I see in our students there. Now, it's always easier when you're on a smaller campus and you're all in one building, right? And you know, it's easier to get to know one another. I also think, you know, I'm going to shout out yours, Polos, as an example of a person there. Is yours here? Of course not. But a person who really, you know, just I think conveys caring and warmth, and that has an indelible impact on a community there. And so we have more challenges on this campus just because we have so many more buildings and more students, and we're all off in different places. I really believe and hope that the new student center is going to be a real opportunity for us to sort of inculcate a sense of community among our students. If it really is a place, and we've designed it to be this, where students feel comfortable, they can come, they can hang out, they can get food. One student last night was saying to me, why can't we have a restaurant on campus? I said, well, we're going to have this more full-service food deli center there. But a place where they can really feel a sense of community and a sense of comfort and a comfort level, and can begin to engage with one another. I think that's going to pay dividends in this regard, in terms of a sense of engagement, and even, you know, when students spend more time on campus, they tend to, actually they tend to do better. There's lots of data that they're more likely to persist, you'll be satisfied with college, but also I think they're more likely to feel that this is not just a place where they go to class, but it's a place where people care about them and where they have meaningful relationships. And I think that's what we're talking about. So I'm hoping that makes a difference. Other thoughts or other questions or comments?
In North Hudson, and I think something else North Hudson has is they have a lot more places to eat, there's a lot more variety of food. It's easier to park up there because there's parking lots.
It's not real easy, but
Also, there's a bike trail next to it.
yes.
So it's a much more accessible campus that I think.
Yeah.
I think for what you said about the North Hudson campus, I'm a student and I attend both of my classes at North Hudson, and it is way more sense of community. Everybody talks, and there's more of like an open door policy, I feel. Even with the staff on the first floor, like when I had to do my schedule, I happened to be on here campus, I took the shuttle back to North Hudson, and I was like, I'm gonna go there. It's a much more like welcoming environment and understanding. I was just like, it's just like the staff there is way more like, okay, yeah, no, we're gonna help you, like, don't worry, and like more willing to give more information. I actually ended up getting my books, being able to get books for the semester because of the help of a staff member. Just a small tip, like, hey, I know you didn't get enough financial aid, but try this scholarship, like, write this essay, like, go for it. And I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for that staff member. One thing for North Hudson is because there is downfalls for it being so small, I feel like there's not enough areas for you to just like sit and be able to have small conversations, like group projects. Like not a lot of people want to open their home to, you know, random people in class. There's not like an area that's like not super loud, like the lounge that's there, but it's also not like a quiet area like the library. So like there's not an area where you can be like, okay, let's have a group meeting, and it not be like, okay, like that kind of atmosphere.
Thank you very much for sharing that. But do we have other students here? Because I love, I don't, if you have any, do you have any perspectives, others of you, about this? I'm not putting, I don't want to put you on the spot. I love the fact that students, yes, thank you.
I think it's on a case-by-case basis. I know that having most of my classes in the North Hudson campus, I do have that same shared experience, like she was saying earlier. I think that overall the advisors there are a lot more hands-on, and they'll sit there with you, and they're not, you're not committed to that, scheduled meeting time that you have. If your case takes a little longer, or they need to explain things to you, they'll take the time. And I think not feeling rushed out of the door, and like you're just, another student, I think gives that sense of community, and really kind of makes you more committed not only to your academics, but just to the school in general.
Thank you. And this isn't a criticism of this campus. I mean, it's just the physical dynamics just have so much to do with it. There are very caring people here too. Yeah.
One thing Eurus did 2 years ago, he did coordinate a customer service training day. So he pulled all of you, it was about 20 of them. I have the list of names of the people who attended, and he pulled them all together in that room and said, you have to go through this training. So I do know, I'm not sure if that had any impact at all, but in that training, we did talk specifically about, we didn't necessarily use the student like they're not a customer per se. It's not like going to Dunkin' Donuts and you're a customer there. But we did talk about things like what we're saying is that your job is to meet the need of that person sitting in front of you. And so and if you can't meet it, you have to still identify what it is. And sometimes that satisfies the person.
Sure.
Even if you couldn't meet it, they would need to know you could.
Sure.
My accident actually was with a professor on the shuttle back to North Hudson, and I was telling her how I'm looking for a 4-year school. And one of the things that really helped me was they had like an outline of what ideally you should be doing by semester. And she was like, oh my God, that would be so helpful for somebody here. So like as an early education major, like it would say like ideally this is what you should take in this order to, reach your goals, and it make more sense.
Sure.
And I feel like having an outline, a breakdown by semester, by whatever year you're on, that really, she said, activities you should say something. So there's this, and also with the communication, like Wayfair now, her willingness to give information about 4-year school. She took our whole first class, and I feel like if teachers did that for every major, it give you a better picture of what you're getting into. She was like, okay, so realistically, this is what you're gonna do. This is how you should do it. Don't go this way. Students who were debating whether to be high school or grammar school teachers, she was like, okay, you can only work your way up. She said, so if you're questioning it, start from the bottom and get an extra certification. Like really breaking it down and say, this is real life. You want a real job, this is what this is gonna be. This is what you should make it. That, and she's even willing to take us to go visit a school, and that asking us what we want has been so enlightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other comments or questions or?
Just one suggestion.
Yeah.
You need a scribe for pizza day, so they can write down the comments, and you've got your anecdotal evidence.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking the same thing. I mean, and I'm being asked such a wide range of detailed questions that I can't answer.
Right.
And so I'm typically like saying, here's my card, please send me a note, or suggesting they go to see someone, and I'm hoping it was the right starting point. I think I'd like to, I've been thinking the same thing. Maybe I should have someone else there, not just to take notes, but someone that's been here for a long time that can help.
Yeah, but you need them in
feel-
writing.
Yeah.
Because if they start talking, because I work with medical scribes, so if they start talking to the students, they're not writing.
Right.
So you need a real scribe.
Yeah. I welcome any volunteers. Anything you might want to share with others here today? This is a nice forum for getting the word out.
I have one announcement I forgot. In the spirit of, oh my God, what was your topic before, sir? You started unity. I can't remember. There was the word I wanted. It was like unity, and I can't remember what it was. Pride. Here we go. Okay, in the topic, in the climate of pride, my personal fitness training students are in the library here, and now I feel guilty we're not at North Hudson. Every Monday, 3 to 5, right now doing pop-up events and bringing you what they're learning in personal fitness training. So they started with blood pressure, body composition, 3 to 5 library, they're gonna do it again this Monday. Then, what are we doing next, on March 11th? Functional assessment, where does your body have to move? I'm not quite sure. I am not a fitness person. Really, I'm a respiratory therapist and medical anthropologist, but it's my program. What else? You can do anything if you try hard enough and coordinate. Some foam rollers for pressure points, don't really know how that works, but you come and you'll find out. Balance and stability. I desperately need Tai Chi, so I can't have it right now, so this might be it. They'll bring the balls to balance on. And then the last but not least, TheraBand and core exercises. So in the absence of yoga, they'll work your core. So library right here, 3 to 5 Mondays.
Fantastic.
And I have
Flyers.
in color. Okay.
Fantastic, that's fantastic. And you're reminding me, a point of pride that we need to celebrate. Our latest NCLEX results have come in, between 94 and 95% pass rate. And that's over 60 students or thereabouts?
64.
That's a huge accomplishment. So kudos to our faculty and our students. Others? Veronica, is there anything you would want to share about our budget planning process?
I think we got a little reprieve. We sent out an email yesterday. We originally said we wanted the packages in by March the 1st. We did meet with all the groups, but because of a couple of cancellations on the snow days and folks going to Achieving the Dream, we can wait until the 8th to get the data.
Good. But I've heard good things about the planning meetings.
Yeah, I think
thank
they
all
went
of you
really
that
well.
participated. We want your ideas.
Yep. So we're going to be formulating that and putting the summary for take it next step.
John, anything you want to share with us? Now I'm going to start picking on you.
Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Deneen Hall Art Gallery, which is on the 6th floor of the library. We will be unfortunately closing our beautiful exhibit with a great reception. That's the good part. We'll be having a reception for the closing of our beautiful exhibit called Notes and Tones, which is an exhibit all about jazz. And we're actually going to have a jazz singer there from about 5 to 7. So come on up, have a sandwich and a glass of punch, listen to some great music, and look at some great art.
Fantastic. I also I'm seeing Jack stand back there. Have you all gotten one of these?
Yes.
If you haven't, please do. I think this is just fantastic, right? So in the event of something we hope never happens, but in the event of a bit of an active shooter, if you have this with you, you can put it on your lanyard, give you the quick advice. Run, hide, fight, and some quick bulleted information. That's really fantastic. And then also I wanted to thank you for the, I don't know if you've noticed, there's a new process for visitor badges that include the visitor's picture that is printed at each of our security stations at each building.
Currently at 5 buildings.
5 buildings, and you're going to expand it?
We're trying to expand it, yes, Doctor.
Chris, is there anything you would like to share?
Is it too early to talk about Secaucus?
No.
I just want to, there are a lot of people in the room. Lisa, Matt.
Should I be doing this? It's pretty late for me to do this.
A lot of people in the room.
It never works.
A lot of people in the room.
Hold it down.
There we go. I'll just shout. Oh, there we go. Lisa, Matt, Jennifer, Christopher, and John Marlin working with coordinators to get a schedule for the new Secaucus Center. So say this fall, starting this fall, students, not just the high school students on site there, but community members anywhere in Hudson County, especially that West Hudson corridor, if you live in Kearney, Harrison, Secaucus, there will be full programming starting at the Secaucus Center this fall. By full programming. And by full programming, I don't want to have a little asterisk there. I'd like to say what we're looking at is any program that a student is in, that student will be able to complete a full-time schedule for first semester, first 12 to 15 credits. Now, for two of our largest programs, liberal arts and business, a student we expect will be able to complete a full degree on that campus starting this fall, and we're really excited about that. Start looking for publicity coming out of Jen Christopher's office, and start looking for the chance to register if you are a student. Thank you.
Thank you, huge. And there's lots of parking there. Yes.
Just want to remind everyone we have the open houses coming up March 23rd and April 6th. March 23rd is Journal Square, April 6th is North Hudson. And then also, if there's students in the room, we are doing early bird registration on April 3rd, in-person registration. And then on April 25th, we have Dollars for Scholars, which allows you to get assistance with scholarships. We have faculty members that will help you with the essay portion, applying to scholarships, and help you through the process. So all these flyers are, the open house flyers are coming out. The early bird registration is just about started to come out, and a few others are on the way. So just want to remind, especially the open house. So we always appreciate all of our faculty and staff volunteers.
Thank you, Matt. That's great. Lisa, anything you want to share?
Sure, I have a couple minutes. Hi, everybody. So I wanted to share that commencement planning is well underway. We have a team of people that are participating, and you'll see more on that as it gets closer. And I think we've announced that Governor Phil Murphy is our keynote, which is going to be very exciting. In terms of enrollment, I think everyone knows we finished the spring down by a little bit, but not as bad maybe as it could have been. And I do have some hot off the press quick term numbers. So the quick term numbers came out yesterday, the 12-week term. And I expected us to be up, of course, but we were up significantly. In fact, I made Lana double check the numbers because I couldn't even believe it. We offered double the number of sections to meet student demand, and we had double the number of students enrolled, which is really exciting. So really, thank you everyone, because I know those took some time to get off the ground, and I know it takes time to staff them, and it's another term just when you kind of take a breather, you've got another semester starting. So it clearly shows that students want these different terms and different options and delivery modes, so it's really good news. And then finally, we are preparing for the opening of fall registration already on April 1st. So lots, yes, little Lisa, you go. So you'll see more communication about that. So thank you in advance for your help and support of the registration process.
So we wound up in spring down, head count down under 2%.
Under 2%.
And then I think credit hours are
Under 3%.
under 3%. We felt we were going to be ahead, so it's a little disappointing, but as Lisa's, but up in new students, and then, students are voting with their feet, as you're suggesting, and short-term online is what keeps growing. And I got to say, the other area that keeps growing is nursing and allied health. I'm blown away. It just keeps really growing significantly. But if you look at the landscape of all 19 community colleges, we fare pretty well, but are continually trying to learn from our experience. All right, who else can I pick on unless somebody, okay, yeah.
I got one more announcement. Once again, I'm the grant accountant. I work with Perkins, that works a lot with the Career, Technical, and Education Department. March 6th and 7th, we're having our CTE career fair, so all CTE students and faculty, please, please, please advertise this to your students that's graduating or on the verge of needing any positions regarding career, technical, and education. Please, please, please. It's from 11 to 3 p.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., March 6th and March 7th. Everybody got their emails and everything. I wish I had flyers, but definitely check it out.
Excellent. I don't know. Does anyone want to guess which of the 19 New Jersey community colleges has the largest Perkins funding allocation? It is. Yes. Yes. It's phenomenal. What, 800 something?
Yes. About 818.
Other comments or questions or concerns? How about from our, Denise, anything you want to share?
Thank you. Sorry I came in later. So just for the All-College Council, just to update everybody who wasn't at the meeting yesterday, we had a governance recommendation passed that we're going to bring to the president regarding proctoring of online classes. The technology committee, I'd like to thank them. They did a lot of hard work researching different programs to be able to monitor students while they're taking tests and make sure that our online programming is reliable and valid. So we're going to bring that to the president for signing at a meeting next week. But hopefully he'll sign it, and then we can really start to move forward with online learning. Just as a reminder, for people who didn't make the meeting yesterday but are on the All-College Council, we are having nominations for secretary, chair, and vice chair positions to start next year. My term and Tony and Shanine's ends in June. So if you would like to send me nominations, if you have people who are serving on the council that you think would serve the positions well, please email me their names. And feel free to self-nominate if you feel like you would like to take on the invigorating challenge.
Excellent. And any comments, questions, or reports from any of our professional associations? I see we have Jose, Dorothea, Michael Felice is in here. What are they all doing? Anything you want to share? I'm sorry?
Teaching.
They're teaching. That's a good excuse.
A negotiation started, and we're working really hard in trying to bring it a contract that everybody agrees, and we're looking forward to it.
Yep.
Also, I just want to add that many of the students present are EOF students.
Excellent.
EOF students, raise your hands.
Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. We talked before you got here a little bit about the negotiations. Yes, Lisa.
Yeah, so can you raise your hand if you are here and you took the professional development survey? Raise your hand if you are in the room now and you took the professional development survey. So that's about half of you. Raise your hand if you have not yet had the opportunity to take it. Raise your hand if you have not. So if you could please do us a favor, the link is on the portal, it's as a banner, so you may have to wait a second or two for it to scroll back around. And we are going to be sending out the link again as an email, but it closes in a few days, a couple weeks, but that's the only way we can really know for sure what to bring you that you absolutely want. So we're going to go through them. Jerry Trembala, Dr. Jerry Trembala is going to help us compile the data, and we're going to look and see and start offering what's there. And thank you for all of you that have already taken it. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Yes.
Okay, hello. Next Wednesday on March 6th, there's a financial literacy event, Budgeting and Money Management. It's at 11 o'clock in the library, room 518. So you're all invited to attend, of course, but please tell your students too. And if you are teaching a CSS 100 class, please tell them that it counts as a HCC event. They usually have to attend one. So next Wednesday, Budgeting and Money Management at 11 o'clock.
Excellent. Others? Okay, John?
Thanks. Since there are students in the room, those who are not students have largely heard about this, but I'd like to apprise you of a project that we're undergoing in the college right now concerning what's called open educational resources. What open educational resources mean is that when you register for a class, you don't have to go to the bookstore and purchase a textbook, nor do you have to go to Amazon.com or Barnes & Nobles, because the textbook is provided to you free online. And it's a licensed copyright textbook. It's available for most any subject. Now we're just starting this out in the fall, and we expect to have some sections, not all sections, of 5 of our top 10 enrolled classes available in this OER format. We'll label them for you on the student planner, and on the portal. So we hope to expand this to the point where by fall of 2020, students who come in will be able to enroll in a full degree program. Not every program, we can't do this with every program, but at least one full degree program a student will be able to enroll in and never have to buy a textbook. So we're working on that. We'll get it rolled out in the fall.
Fantastic. Looks like we've got some culinary students. Yes, Dorothy.
Well, I wanted to update everyone on support staff negotiations. We are in the process of gathering our research. So we haven't met yet, but we plan to meet by the end of March.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Hi, Bob, Center for Online Learning. March 15th, we have a meet and greet. You may have seen it in your email. As most of you know, but maybe not everyone, we have a new executive director of the Center for Online Learning. We have a new home on the 6th floor of the library. And so March 15th, I think it's from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. There'll be bagels and noshes, and 11 a.m. of course. We'd have to transition from bagels. So feel free to stop by. We asked that you RSVP so that we could know how much food to order.
Thank you, Bob. That's great. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for everything you do every single day. And thanks for being here today. March 1st is tomorrow. Spring is coming. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.